We're already adding projects, so we can duplicate that work with minimal changes for adding tasks. Not only will this save time, it also keeps things consistent, which makes it much easier to read the code later. Applications are almost never launched once and left on their own. You'll need to add features and fix bugs. Having code that is easy to read will make both of those jobs much easier. Let's start in functions.php again. This time, we'll copy the add project function. We'll rename it add task. Adding a task will take different parameters, so let's set those up. First, we need project ID, then title, then date, and time. Next, we can change our SQL statement to use those parameters. Insert into tasks, project ID, title, date, and time. Making sure we add the right number of placeholders. And finally, we'll bind those parameters to our query. Let's duplicate this first bind twice. The first placeholder is project ID, which is an int, so let's change this to param int. The second placeholder we can leave as title. The third placeholder is date, and the fourth placeholder is time, which is also an int. Great, our function is ready to go. Let's get our task page set up. Let's preview the task form in the browser first. Choose Add Task, and we see our form. First, we have a drop-down for projects, and we need to populate this with options from the database. We also see that each of these fields is required. Now let's open task.php and get to work. First, let's populate the project dropdown. This is pretty much our project list, so let's copy the for each loop from that file. Now let's change the list to an option. Our value will be our project ID, and we'll display the title. Then finish off our option. Now we're ready to filter the user input and send it to our add task function. Let's go back to project.php and copy the entire request method conditional. Let's duplicate this first filter line twice and make these project ID, title, date, and time. Project ID and time are both integers, so let's change this to number int. And this one as well. Filter sanitize, number, int. Now let's change our error message to check for the required fields. Project ID, title, date, and time. Project, title, date, and time. Next, instead of add project, we want to use add task. And we'll pass in our variables. And instead of redirecting to project list, let's redirect to task list. And also change the error message to could not add task. Finally, we need the code to display the error message. Let's copy the error message from the project page and paste it back into our task page. Looks great. We're ready to test out the form. Back in the browser, let's start by submitting an empty form. We see the error message telling us that we need to fill in the required fields. So let's do that, except let's not select the project. Again, we see the error message letting us know to fill in the required fields. And all the data we did fill in is gone. Yikes, what a pain. But hey, this is our site, so we can do something about that.